Yep. Yep.
We back. We are most definitely back. Hello to all 16 of my subscribers. Is that where we're at? I haven't checked in a minute. Yes, this is another video on this channel. And again, I'm not sure where we're at, but I think the last video I uploaded was in February or March. And so here I am today again, feeling called to make a video for you guys because I would like to think that maybe, just maybe, if today's video can help one person, then I will have achieved my goal. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this video with the intent that I help at least one person, because I have a pretty profound thing to bring to you today. Now, these ideas aren't mine, but it's my honor to disseminate these ideas, hoping that they can affect one of you in a really positive way. And what I'm bringing to you is a framework to really unpack difficult emotions. And this framework has already become so profound in my life. I mean, I just discovered it, but it was such an intuitive process for me that I now think of it whenever I'm going through something really hard. So what is it, you ask? Well, it is an acronym, and it is called RAIN, and it was created by a spiritual teacher who I love so deeply, a spiritual teacher named Tara Brach. And to learn more about her and to get resources on her and et cetera, I will include that in the description so you can benefit from that. But yes, it's from her, and I actually have some notes down here just to make sure I get this all right, because this is good stuff and I need to get it right so that you can benefit as much as possible. So it's an acronym. It's called RAIN. And really briefly, I will tell you what each letter stands for, and we'll kind of get into it. So R is recognize, A is allow, I is investigate, and N is nurture. So really briefly, I will say this framework has been helpful for me recently because, and I won't say too much, but the reason why I've been gone so long is because I just went through a major life transition, and I haven't really been in a place until now to really give my time and attention to this channel. And, we'll see where I'm at after I make this video, but I would like to make more videos. But for whatever reason, I just feel the need to do this one. And with the things that I have felt and the things that I have gone through over the past few months, I have really needed a way to work through my emotions. And I haven't really had a great way to do it. That's the tricky thing. When we feel really bad, when we feel anxious, when we feel depressed, when we feel angry, more often than not, unfortunately, we turn to really unhealthy ways to deal with those emotions. Now, I have been doing my absolute best to deal with my pain in the healthiest way possible over the past few months as a result of this transition. I should also add, just to be completely honest, yeah, it's been a very hard life transition, but it's also been very good for me. So I'll just come up front and say that too. So I don't want to act like my life is ending. It's been this awful thing. It's been really challenging, but it's also been really good. The point I'm trying to get at here is over the past few months, I've been trying to deal with things in the most healthy way possible, but I've been missing something. I've been missing a process. I've been missing what I keep calling this. I've been missing a framework. And so that's why I'm so excited to bring to you the RAIN method today. because I think it has the potential to really help someone out there if they haven't heard of it. So let's just dive right into it, okay? R, recognize. And some of these will be her words. Recognize what's going on. Recognizing means consciously acknowledging in any given moment the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that are affecting you. This can be done with a simple mental whisper, noting what you are most aware of. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work through this method in real time because I have been dealing with some difficult emotions this evening. The chief of which have been anger and frustration, because this is now my 5th take doing this video. And the worst part about it is that the first take was perfect. And it was just the audio that somehow got messed up. And every take after that has just been me stopping for various reasons. The 4th take, which I just got done doing, everything was going great. And then the camera just shut off for no reason. I think it was because the battery I was using was not a Canon battery, and I don't know. That doesn't matter. So as I go through this process, I am going to work through my anger and frustration in real time. And you know what? I ask you to work through whatever you have going on in real time as well. Because seriously, folks, this process and this framework, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. It's really powerful if you learn how to use it. So R, first letter of the acronym, recognize. In this moment, I recognize that I am feeling angry, that I am feeling frustrated. Done. That's all you have to do for that first step, which is really great, really simple, because when it comes to something like this, when it comes to dealing with difficult emotions, you don't want a framework that's going to be super complicated and throw you off course. Okay. So we're keeping it simple. First step, recognize. Okay. Think about what you recognize in yourself right now. I recognize that I'm feeling frustrated. The second step, the second letter is A. Allow. Allow the experience to be there just as it is. So in her words, allowing means letting the thoughts, emotions, feelings, or sensations you have recognized simply be there without trying to fix or avoid anything. So she gives an example. You might recognize fear, and you can allow that fear to be there by mentally whispering, it's okay, this belongs, or get a load of this. Just saying yes. How liberating is that? Mentally whispering, it's okay, this belongs, or just saying yes. Just saying yes to the experience of that emotion in that moment. Isn't that interesting? Because sometimes when we feel something that is really bad, that feels really bad, we say, no, I don't want to feel this. I don't want to feel this. You know, when I'm feeling really depressed or really anxious, my first instinct is to push it away. But that's why allowing is so powerful, because we can just say yes. It's almost kind of like surrendering. And there is great power in surrender. And so right now, I surrender to my frustration. I surrender to my anger. Yes, it's there. It's there. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. I wanted to be in bed like an hour ago. But it's there. Okay? And I allow it. I allow it. Allowing creates a pause that makes it possible to deepen attention. That pause is very, very important, because what we do is we get caught up in a flurry of emotion and the train just runs off the tracks. We need to pause. And in fact, the acronym could be changed to PRAIN, because before we recognize, maybe we should just pause. But there is opportunity for pause in the allow phase. Tara, I don't want to mess your I don't want to mess your shit up. This is like great as it is. So that is the second step of the framework. Allow. Third step, investigate. Investigate with interest and care. Now, this one is probably the most challenging step for me because it isn't immediately intuitive. So let me go through her words and I'll offer my commentary. But this step is really important, and it's crucial that you understand this so that you can then move on to the final step, which is a very powerful part of this process as well. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's look at I. Okay, investigate with interest and care. To investigate, call on your natural curiosity, the desire to know truth, and direct a more focused attention to your present experience. You might ask yourself, what most wants attention? How am I experiencing this in my body? What am I believing? What does this vulnerable place want from me? What does it most need? Whatever the inquiry, your investigation will be most transformational if you step away from conceptualizing and bring your primary attention to the felt sense in the body. So that was a lot. Let me start here. A really important part about this investigation process is, or are these questions you ask yourself, okay? Ask yourself, what most wants attention? How am I experiencing this in my body? What am I believing? What does this vulnerable place want from me? What does it most need? So for me, if I really just think about what is happening in my body when I experience anger, when I experience frustration, I feel tight. I feel tightness. I feel like I'm all balled up. So all like super tense. And it prevents me from really being present in the moment. Because I just everything is tense. I'm so angry. It's just it's like that. It's like that thing. And that's something that is like a felt sense. Okay. And to really investigate that, like, okay, that's what's going on. Interesting. What can I ask next? Okay. What most wants attention? Maybe it's my need to rest my body and I'm not getting that. Okay. I can understand. That makes sense. Maybe it's getting to that point in the night where now I'm starting to get a little bit hungry. I'm starting to get some late night munchies. It's like really investigating everything that is going on inside of you and being wary of conceptualizing things too much. As she says, bring your primary attention to the felt sense in the body. So that's a step you could spend a lot of time unpacking. And so I hope all of that made sense. Again, it really starts with these questions you ask yourself. That will bring so much more clarity to the situation. And again, it will be most transformational if you step away from conceptualizing and bring your primary attention to the felt sense in the body. Okay, you ready? The final step is N. Nurture. Nurture with self-compassion. Self-compassion begins to naturally arise in the moments that you recognize you are suffering. It comes into fullness as you intentionally nurture your inner life with self-care. To do this, try to sense what the wounded, frightened, or hurting place inside of you most needs, then offer some gesture of active care that might address this need. Does it need a message of reassurance, of forgiveness, of companionship, of love? I'm going to read a little bit more of what she wrote, and then I'll offer some of my commentary. Experiment and see which intentional gesture of kindness most helps to comfort, soften, or open your heart. It might be the mental whisper, I'm here with you. I'm sorry. I love you. I love you and I'm listening. It's not your fault. Trust in your goodness. In addition to a whispered message of care, Many people find healing by gently placing a hand on the heart or cheek, or by envisioning being bathed or embraced by warm, radiant light. If it feels difficult to offer yourself love, bring to mind a loving being, spiritual figure, family member, friend, or pet, and imagine that being's love and wisdom flowing into you. Gosh, the power of self-compassion is, I don't think we recognize what this can do for us. And I just don't think we're self-compassionate in general. Self-compassion seems very out of vogue. It's much more cooler to hate yourself and just to not forgive yourself. Right? Like I feel like we are, and I don't know if this is a cultural thing right now or what, but we are not self-compassionate enough in this society. And that's why arguably this is the most important step. And maybe I'm projecting. I mean, I really struggle with self-compassion. And so, in this moment, again, I'm just being completely honest with you. I'm so angry and frustrated because, again, 5th take of this video. And another thing that's arising is this hand, and this is my own fault. I could have just used like a lapel mic and made this easier, but I really wanted the quality of this mic. I don't really have a good stand for it right now. And so I decided to hold this mic. And with this being the 5th take of the video, my hand is hurting, and I'm frustrated that my hand is hurting, and it's making me want to stop this take as well. But, I recognize that I'm angry. I allowed it. I investigated it. And now what I can say to myself right now is like, you know what, Matt, you went through all this effort to set this up. Like, you're doing a great job. You didn't have to do all this stuff tonight. You didn't have to make this video. But you did. And maybe it'll help someone. Hopefully it will. You're doing good work. And even if no one watches this, you're doing it for yourself. So you know what, Matt? You're doing a great job. So that for me is how I can nurture myself with self-compassion right now. Think about your own situation. How are you being too hard on yourself? How is your situation lacking nurture? That's the point of this whole thing, is to make yourself feel full, is to love yourself. And you can't get there without a sense of self-compassion. So I'm just going to have you sit with that. And I'm sitting with my own truth right now, which is, again, I have my own feelings to work through in this moment. But if I'm really honest with myself, I'm proud of myself for going out of the way to do this video tonight. And I'm proud of myself for persevering and doing a 5th take, even though my hand is cramping up. And actually earlier during other shoots, there's a fly going around, and then the fly was making me angry. But you know what? Here I am doing this thing. And that's the self-compassion piece. I'm proud of myself for going out of the way and doing this. This can also be applied to really deep, deep levels of pain. And you know what? In those moments, you can give yourself self-compassion as well, too. Because there is a sense of shared humanity when you are experiencing deep, deep pain. We all experience deep pain. At the very least, you can say, you know what? Even though it feels like I'm alone in this feeling, I'm not alone. And it is okay that I'm feeling this way. That's the funny thing. And this will probably be a different video, but that's kind of the funny thing about intense emotion. It feels like you're alone, but you're really not. Because if you think about all the people on the planet, there's probably a couple million people who are feeling a similar thing, if not the same thing as you. And knowing that you can just be a little bit easier on yourself, knowing that what you're feeling is completely normal. I mean, what I'm feeling in this moment is incredibly normal. Are you kidding me? A creative in their space who's trying to create something and like things are going wrong and things are just not working out the way they planned. I mean, who knows how many other people that's happening to right now in the world. And so knowing that, I can be easier on myself, I can offer myself compassion in this moment because you know what? I don't really like this take either. I still like the first take the most, and that's okay. That's okay. This doesn't need to be perfect. And with my style, I don't like to edit, and there's going to be there's going to be stutters, there's going to be all sorts of stuff, but I think that's part of me learning to face my imperfections and learning that I am perfect in my imperfections. So as you can see, I'm kind of like settling, I'm like talking myself into this self-compassion state. And I ask you to do the same too. Talk to yourself. Tell yourself that it's okay. Be understanding with yourself. Be gentle, be patient, be kind. Because the RAIN method is all about leading you back to yourself, leading you back to a state of self-love. That's why arguably nurture is the most important step. Because what good is it if you can recognize, allow, and investigate? It doesn't matter if you can do those things and you don't nurture yourself. I also know that for some folks, it can be the hardest step. If you're someone like me, and perhaps you've struggled with a lot of self-hatred things over the years, you may have trouble giving yourself the benefit of the doubt in any way whatsoever. But I just ask, please be gentle, be kind to yourself. You deserve it. You have inherent worth. So that's the RAIN method. Again, if this video helps one person, then I will have done my job. And come to think of it, it has helped one person. It's helped me. Because in the process of making this video and setting all this stuff up and going through all these takes and first being mad about the fly and then being mad about a bunch of other things involving just stopping constantly, I'm learning that I too can apply the RAIN method and find immediate relief, because if I can get to that nurture stage and I can be kind to myself, I will have diffused the emotion and I can feel much better. Now, I understand that this is not a magic solution. This is something that you need to continually practice. And, in this moment, it works out well for me because, it's not like the anger and frustration are that big. It's just something that I can apply to those feelings. Perhaps what you're feeling is much, much bigger. And I want you to understand that the RAIN method is not magic, but it can still help. And so if you are feeling something that is insurmountable, I want you to understand that you can recognize those feelings, you can allow them, you can investigate, and then you can nurture. And I'm not saying that the feelings will go away. I'm not saying that you'll feel better immediately. But what I am saying is that by going through this framework, you will learn an incredibly powerful way to deal with what you're feeling. And if you continue to practice it, I promise that those very intense feelings will soften. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around. This has been a very enlightening experience for me today. I hope it's been interesting for you. And I will continue to work through my stuff. And you'll work through your stuff. And, well, hopefully I'll keep going with this channel. I really just felt called to make this one video today. If I feel called to make more, I will. If I don't, then I won't. Take care. I really, really appreciate you being here today. See ya.